Welcome back everyone. I thought I'd just show you the rig, and the only rig I'm using at the moment. I've just got some bits out, making up rigs. Got some shrink tube, got my usual Nash twister hooks, barbless. Oh no, them ones are micro bar, but usually I'm using the barbless ones. Excuse me if I keep clearing my throat, I'm just getting over a cough and a cold. This is Fox Camo Stiff. This is what I use to make my rigs. What you can do, you can steam it so the rig becomes stiff. You can't use it really unless you steam it. You can see the shape it comes off in a coil off the spool. So you need to be steaming this. And instead of using my kettle over there, I'm just getting the hang of this new direction shrink tuber. It takes a few goes, but once you've got the hang of it, it works really well. So I'm steaming my rigs straight with this, not steaming, heating up the rigs and it straightens them out. And you can also do the same for when you're creating the kicker. So I take about 15mm, snip a bit off, 15mm of the shrink tube to create this kicker. And I pull it at an angle before I steam it or heat it up, and as it cools down it sets in place to make this shape of the kicker, you see, and that helps with hooking. When a carp picks up your bait and it's in their mouth and they try and reject it, this kicker helps to set the hook. And so if you take a look at the hook link before it comes off the spool, you can see how curly it is. So it is essential to steam it or heat it up to create this. Let me hold it up. Can you see how stiff that is now? It's exactly how you want it, because when you cast this out into the lake and it's hanging off your lead clip, you want it to lay flat on the bottom, so that will do that. If I'll lift it up, you can see it's keeping its shape, the rig itself. So when you cast it out and it goes to the deck, the lead will pull down like that. Bosh, the lead will land there. This rig is falling flat and laying flat on the bottom, presenting your hook bait perfectly. So this rig, I'm using it for either bottom baits or wafters. I'm really into the wafters at the moment. They've been working for me. So the weight of this hook will take the wafter down, a bit like it would with a bottom bait, but the wafter is semi-buoyant, so the weight of the hook is enough just to pin it down, and when the carp suck, because it's semi-buoyant, it will enter their mouth quite easily, a bit more easily than a bottom bait. This rig, you can also use it with pop-ups if you want to. As you can see, I've got a weight on the line. I threaded this on before I actually tied a figure of 8 loop knot to create the hoop there, and I threaded this on as another thing to pin the rig down, just in case it's not completely steam straight. This weight in the middle helps to pin the rig down flat. So oops, so let me chuck it on the table. Yeah, that extra weight there, you can, maybe I could move it up to the center. So another thing you can do with these rigs is you can put a shot just here and turn it into a pop-up rig. So it's exactly what I keep seeing Julian Cundiff doing recently. Just below this shrink tube where the kicker is, just here, that can slide up further maybe, and then you can put a shot just there, so it's a weight to pin down the hook if you're using a pop-up, so it'll look like this. So I've just slid that along as an example. This weight, imagine it's a shot big enough to hold down your pop-up. That's essential really. If the shot isn't big enough to hold your pop-up, it's going to do this and float up high in the water, and depending on how you're fishing, you probably don't want that. You want it to pop up an inch or two off the bottom, so it's just sitting above any debris on the bottom of the lake. So yeah, you can do that with this rig as well. It doesn't have to be just a bottom bait rig or a wafter rig. You can use it for pop-ups as well. So you probably noticed I'm in my kitchen. This is real life rig making. I'm doing the washing at the same time, look. I've got to sort out all the socks, but while I'm doing that, I'm watching a bit of Jeremy Wade. River Monsters. One more thing to mention, once you've made your rigs, you want somewhere to store them, so you need a rig wallet. You've got these little pins to pin it down on the figure of 8 loop knot you've done, the loop on the end of the rig, or if you've got a swivel on this end and your hook's here, and it just keeps them straight. So if you've steamed them, you don't want to risk them kinking up at all, so your rig wallet is going to keep them like that. It's going to keep them steamed just how you made them. So I just wanted to share with you what I'm using for rigs at the moment, for bottom baits, for wafters, for pop-ups if you want to, and it's a really easy rig to make. Up here somewhere I shall put a link to a video that I made making these up. There's nothing difficult about them. You just make it as a normal hair rig. You choose the length of the hair you want, you slide on the weight on the hook link if you need it, or you can use a shot on there if you haven't got those. If you're wondering what these little weights are called, they're tungsten lead sinkers, or you can get rubber ones like these ones, which are, sorry, out of focus. I think they're made by Gardner, these ones, and they're not too expensive if you want to use those instead of shot. And this top part is called a hook aligner, this piece of rubber that helps kick it out when you cast it into the lake. It's another thing to make it sit like this flat on the bottom. So these are, I think these are essential really, they're really useful. And a different way of doing this, if you didn't want hair like a normal hair rig, you can use these bait screws. You've probably seen them around already. What you do, you hook the bait screw onto the hook and you use one of these little rubber beads that's really tight fitting onto the hook to stop this bait screw from falling off or sliding down too far. So thanks for watching everyone. I'm going to continue with the housework, watching Jeremy Wade making my rigs and recovering from this really bad cough and cold I've had. I probably look a bit rough, don't I? Nice big spot on the end of my nose. Anyway, thanks for watching. New videos will be on their way once I've got rid of this horrible cough and cold. I'm down at Elphick's on West End Lake and there's some monsters in there. So look out for the Elphick's video. It'll be about a month away, but hopefully it's going to be a really good one.